welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen. And how are you doing today? It's a beautiful sunny day. It's cool, but beautiful sunshine. I'm not complaining at all. Now, I forgot last week that I was going to do this. And how would you feel if you were 100 years old? Like, can you imagine the last 100 years, the changes in technology, in indoor gadgets, and all the things? Can you imagine that? Like, my grandpa turned 100 years old last week. Happy birthday, Grandpa. And it's just crazy to think about the life he lived. Even my grandparents on my other side, or my husband's grandparents, it's just crazy to think about these people. So he was born in 1925, and no indoor plumbing, right? The farm equipment they used back then, horse and plow, and I don't even know when he got his first car. I'll have to ask him that. Maybe he'll remember. But it's just crazy. And then now you go to indoor plumbing where you have a bidet and, a seat warmer on your toilet and, computers, things that talk to you. He loves Alexa. He had an Alexa for a while there, and he'd always ask where his, one grandson was. Do you know where so-and-so is? Oh, but can you imagine? Like, even when I was a kid, when they said, oh, eventually we're going to be talking on our phones and you'll see the other person. And I'm like, that just doesn't seem possible. But we have FaceTime, and all these things. And it's just amazing. It's just crazy. It's probably not all good, actually. But, yeah. But anyway, today we are doing a Shea sugar cube scrub, and we'll talk all about it in the video. So 3 things: be kind, be forgiving, and be you. And let's go check out another scrub. Okay, into our Shea sugar cube scrub. What is a sugar cube scrub? It is a cube. So I use 1 cube in the shower. Anyways, it starts with melt and pour. My melt and pour is excessively hard, just because I like it that way, and then I can adjust. Okay, so we start with, to make my refill, what I call a refill for my containers, because you buy the container, and then if you want more, you buy the refills, because you already have the container, right? You'll see them at the end. But anyway, you start with the melt and pour. My melt and pour is really, really hard. So I actually had to, I don't show it to you in this one, because this was just my, fun test one again. And, but I will add glycerin and some food grade alcohol and some sugar water, just like I would, and I will soften it up, because it is super hard, right? I don't put the total number of solvents in my melt and pour right away when I make it. But anyway, to this we are adding 1.5 ounces of light oil. I chose sesame seed oil for this one. Sometimes I use sunflower oil, okay? And some shea butter, which is about 1/2 ounce of shea butter. And you can, tailor this to however you want it to be. If you want a firmer scrub, you might want to add a little bit more shea or oil to it. Okay, so while that's heating, I'm just cutting up my cubes there and prepping the rest of the ingredients. So for this one, I like a very fine sugar, so I use this one. It's a very fine sugar, And that's about 4.4 ounces, give or take. You know, sometimes I go a little over. I'm never really under, it's usually over. And to this, I'm going to add my Sexy Stranger mica to this, and my fragrance oil also to this. To this, meaning the sugar. Why? Because I can incorporate it so much more thoroughly than when I'm trying to work quickly, getting everything else melted together and added at the correct time. You know what I'm saying? So you just mix up your fragrance oil till it's all incorporated in that sugar. Yeah, that's a really pretty color. I really like that color. Yep, that's one of my new micas. Very pretty. Very pretty. Okay, and as you saw there, it wasn't hot enough. Now it is over 200. I like to be about 180 so I can really melt that that melt and pour. And so I would probably end up sticking it again in the microwave for about 15 seconds to 30 seconds. Just watch to make sure that it doesn't bubble over, because it can and it will, and you know, it's not really good for your melt and pour. And then when this comes down to about 165, 150, it's really iffy. It's really sucks too, because sugar can melt, they say. You don't want to liquefy this. So once it gets cool, I will add my sugar, and I will probably go put it in the microwave for about 5 seconds in intervals and mix it until I get a nice pourable consistency. This isn't the greatest consistency, and sometimes I will be honest, you know, if it's too chunky like this, I don't show it to you, but actually the first time I take it out of the freezer, I actually end up remelting it again. Yes, because yeah. But anyway, this is what I do. Then I put a piece of saran wrap on top of it and find something square. Actually, yeah, an old soap bar works really well for this. Just to get it, because it likes to hump up in the middle. So I just tack it down just a little bit. And then I'm going to put it on this flat cutting board and put it in the freezer for about 20 to 30 minutes till it's totally solid. And that's just to cool it down faster. You could just leave it on your counter, you know, for a while. But I don't. And then I do let it set out for about a half an hour before I cut it, just so it's not too cold. Because if it's too cold, my bottom edges where I cut, they're not pretty. You know what I'm saying? They're just not pretty. And I think I cut this upside down. I should have cut it the other way. Yeah. I haven't made these in a while, so, you know, which is why this is my fun little test batch for the Christmas ones. So, like I said, this is a refill, and it's just my refill for my nice 14-ounce containers that come with a little bamboo stick, so you can, like a tongs, so you can pull them out nicely out of the container without contaminating the rest of them. I just one of these makes it through the whole shower for me. Just one. So you can give yourself a little scrubby whenever you want to. Yeah, see, my bottoms are a little bit rough because like I said, cut them upside down. But a learning curve. But anyway, there you go. There are the Shea Sugar Cube Scrubs. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time, and God bless.